Let's start with Roger in Frankfurt, Ontario. Good evening.
Hi, Mark and John. My question to John tonight are about covered call ETFs. I took a position in BMO ETF ZWB and Alpha Pro ETF HEX. They both pay a juicy dividend, 9.5%. I would like you to tell me your thoughts on that move. And my second question is, which of these two ETF would be most suitable for RESP investment? The little nephew is 1 year old, so it would be a long-term investment.
Right.
So I'm looking for your comments. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, Roger, of the two, I'm more familiar with and more inclined to use the ZWB, which is the BMO covered call from the bank. It has gained a great deal of traction since it was released a half year ago. The Horizons Alpha Pro I'm not as familiar with. I think it's a good position to put into an RESP. What you're getting is the growth of the banks with the additional income that you're getting from the covered call writing. Accepting, of course, that if there's a time when markets surge up, you'll be called away and you'll leave some of that growth on the table. But in a sideways market like we've been in for what it's worth so far this year, you're probably as well off as anything. And for a child who's only one, it's the sort of thing that I think will be plenty of stability and plenty of growth.
And do you hold this for some clients?
I do, yeah. And in fact, I have a number of clients that are using it. I bought it for one client in his RESP just this past week for that very same reason. And
do you actually get 9% by the end of the year, or I guess it varies?
Probably not. It varies because it varies from the calls are written, I think, quarterly or monthly. I'm not sure, but at any rate, if you get called away, then the income it'll always depend. So right now, that's a nice juicy 9%, but that number varies substantially from month to month.
Yeah, I just looked at the Horizons one, and it's got volume that's about almost 5 times lower.
Right.
Average volume on the BMO one is 281,000.
Right.
Let's look at an email. This is from Gavin in Edmonton. He says he's putting together an ETF portfolio, and he noticed that a lot of the funds don't have very long track records. I was taught to choose mutual funds with at least a 10-year history. How important is the track record for ETFs, be it that they track indexes?
Right. Gavin, I got good news and bad news. The good news is don't worry too much about track record with regard to ETFs. And an admonition for you, good sir, please, and for everyone else viewing at home, please do not use past performance as an indicator for mutual funds either. Every mutual fund that you see will carry a disclaimer saying past performance is not to be relied upon for future performance. There's a guy by the name of Michael Jensen who did a research study about this from Harvard in 1968. Showing that there's no persistence. Another guy by the name of Mark Carhart, C-A-R-H-A-R-T, Google it if you'd like, did a report, the biggest of its kind, about persistence of mutual funds in 1997. No persistence. There's no correlation between past performance and what's going to happen in the future. So when it comes to things like ETFs, it's not as much of a problem. You pretty much know what you're getting. They're going to be tracking a benchmark or a sector, or will have a strategy like an equal weight sort of strategy, but at any rate, it will be trying to replicate something, and as long as it's replicating what it is it's supposed to replicate, plus or minus a small amount of tracking error, you're good. Don't worry about because if you have, let's say, a benchmark that's going down for the past 5 years, and the ETF goes down for those same 5 years, or 5 months because it's new, as the caller says, don't worry. One is tracking the other, and when the other goes up, so will the ETF go up.
And I have noticed that you do not shy away from new ones, especially if they're from very legitimate issuers like BMO.
And precisely that's precisely the reason, because what you should expect is the underlying performance of the asset class or sector. So it's not like with the mutual fund where you have to hope that the manager will have this track record that he or she can take from a previous firm to the new firm, or with the new strategy that hasn't been proven. The strategies are all proven in terms of cap weighted and equal weighted and fundamental weighting and so forth. So now it's a question of, well, which suits you, which do you prefer, and you should be able to trust all the providers to do what they say they're going to do.
All right, John, we'll talk to Fern now, who's in Thornhill, Ontario. Good evening.
Yeah, hi, good evening, gentlemen. My daughter is now actually finishing grade 12. She'll be going first year university, and her RESP will soon be able to get. And she doesn't need all of it because she actually got a scholarship. And I just want to know if you have any ideas for a very tax-efficient investment that's safe, that she can get when she needs. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Fern. Clearly, she wants to preserve the capital she's built up.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. First off, congratulations to your daughter for getting the scholarship. That's wonderful. The money in the RESP will be paying for her education, presumably for the next 4 years, and it sounds as though she won't even need it all. As long as she demonstrates that she's a full-time student, she'll be able to take that money out, and it'll be added to her taxable income, which presumably is zero or close to it. Now that your daughter is turning 18, she has TFSA room, so she can put $5,000 of income, $5,000 into her TFSA every year, irrespective of the fact that she doesn't have any earned income. It's not like an RSP. It's not based on income. It's just based on being a Canadian who's 18 or older. So the most tax-effective way to do anything is to put it in something where you pay no tax at all. Now, I would guess that, I don't know exactly how much money she has in her RESP, but I'm guessing that if she can take out all that she needs combined with her scholarship to pay for all of her expenses and still have $5,000 per year left over, that's $5,000 per year for 4 years of university that she can max out her TFSA. And at that point, you just want to invest it for growth because it'll hopefully be a long time before your daughter needs the money. And Bob's your uncle. There'll be no tax on that when she takes it out way, way down the road.
So would you split that $5,000 into 4 or 5 ETFs?
Yeah,
or,
that's a nice way of doing it. Think of buying, and just minimize your transaction costs. Buy one this year, buy a different one next year, and so forth. And or if you want to even wait until January, then you put in $10,000 in January of next year.
Right. Yeah. All right. Very good. We'll take a short break here with John DeGoey and come back. He's continuing to answer your questions about personal finance and ETFs.